Hey everybody, Lex DeVille here, back with another lesson. This one's going to be talking about rapport building in your proposal. So a lot of you might have heard of the term rapport in the past. It gets used in a lot of sales trainings, definitely NLP training, hypnotherapy training. Everyone's always talking about being in rapport, but mainly if you've ever gone on YouTube and you've watched some videos about how to run a sales call or how to cold call people, you are going to hear the word rapport. You're going to hear it over and over and over. So what does it mean? How do we apply it to proposals? Rapport, it just means being in sync with a client. So we'll use the call example for now to kind of give you an idea of what rapport means. It's probably the easiest way to talk about this, but you get on a call with somebody, and let's say you get on a call with your mom. When you get on a call with your mom, you probably, unless you don't like your mom, you just get on the call and you start talking to her. You start talking to her. It's really natural. It's like, hey mom, what's up? And she's like, hey, nothing. What are you doing? I just got off work. And you just go into conversation. You instantly can chat about anything in the whole world. It doesn't even matter, depending on how good your relationship with your mom is, of course. But if you were to get on a call with somebody who is not, you don't know this person or you don't know them very well, then it's a different situation. You don't feel comfortable with them yet. You are not in sync with them. And so you have to get on the same page as them. You have to get on the same wavelength, the same energy, the same sheet of music, whatever you want to call it. You have to be in sync with this person, okay? So you get on a call, and it's always awkward when you get on these sales calls, or cold calls are especially awkward, but we won't go into that. But let's just say you get on an interview call with a client on Upwork. So the first thing that happens, you're like, hey, how are you? And you start off you may smile, maybe you don't smile. If you don't, you should. But you get on there, maybe you start with some small talk, talking about the weather for a few minutes. And if you've seen or been through my other course or seen any of my sales training, you know that I think that's totally fine. You start off talking about these random off-topic subjects, and then you move into the sales call, the discovery call. What happens is, with rapport, at some point, after you've talked to each other about the weather, or where you're from, or whatever, your cats, if you're a cat lover, you both have cats, that's awesome. We both like cats. That's great. So you're in rapport for a moment, and then you start into this call, and then eventually maybe you say something that they don't agree with. And so you start to get out of rapport. So being in rapport, you can feel it when you're in rapport with someone. It's a good feeling. You feel like the conversation's going well. You feel like they understand you or they get you. You just feel like things are right. When you're out of rapport, something feels off. When you're out of rapport on a call, something starts to feel off. Maybe they're not smiling as much. Maybe they're not shaking their head up and down like this in response to the things you say. They're probably going like this. Maybe not as fast as that. Could be slower. But the point is, being in rapport feels good. Being not in rapport does not feel good. It feels off. It's a gut feeling that something is off. So on sales calls, if you're managing a sales call, you have to get back in rapport. You have to be able to ask the right questions or say something that gets you back in rapport. Now that doesn't mean talking about their talking about the client's cats again. You don't want to go off topic because you need to stay on track toward the sale. That's straight line persuasion. This what Jordan Belfort, gosh, all tongue tied today. What Jordan Belfort taught to all those people, to all of his employees and all those other people who scammed everyone in the whole freaking world. But despite the fact that he was scamming people, what he taught does work. The psychology behind what he was doing makes sense. So whenever you're working on a sales call, you've got point A where you start, point B, this is the sale, and then you've got a straight line in between there. Now, if you go too far off that line in either direction, you're out of rapport. That's how he teaches it. And you want to stay as close to being on the line and always moving toward the sale as possible, always moving forward. So you don't want to go back to other topics and things like that. All of that is to say that it's a general feeling of wellness, of goodness, and when you're out of rapport, it doesn't feel good. So how do you apply this in your proposals? That's the next question. Because in a proposal, on a phone call, if you get out of rapport, you just talk to the client. You say different things to the client and you get back in rapport. But when you send an Upwork proposal, you can't just get back in rapport. You only get one shot. There's only one chance for you to do it right. So you have to get it right your first time. So what are you going to do that is going to make the client feel good about you right up front? I have 4 things that I think are kind of off the top of my head. The number one thing you're going to do is your greeting. You need to have a good greeting. So a good greeting is not going to be "Dear hiring manager." Oh my God, I swear if another person sends me "Dear hiring manager," I'm just going to lose my freaking mind. Dear hiring manager, anything starting with "dear." Don't start any proposals with "dear." I swear, don't start proposals with "dear." Start them with "hi." Start them with "hey there." I don't know about hello. Hello might be okay for B2B. You could do "hi there." You could do "hey there." Best case scenario, use their name. Because we like it when people use our name. We pay attention when people use our name. So if you know that their name is John, and you might know that because of the secret squirrel tactics that I'll teach you in the next lesson, I think it's the next lesson, you'll find their name. You might say, "Hi, John," or "Hey, John." You know, just keep it casual and friendly, just like you would if you're talking to a friend. So that's the first part, it's your greeting. And then you're going to make sure you have good spelling and grammar. So this is the next thing that gets me out of rapport with people. When I'm a client and people send me a proposal that's got lowercase i's all over the place, it's got jacked up spelling all over the place, they're a copywriter, misspelling copywriter, things like that bugs me so much, and I'm just like, nope, we are done. So check your spelling and grammar. Matching and mirroring. We'll kind of go into this a little bit more in the agreement lesson that's coming up, and I think it's 2 lessons down. We'll go into agreement a bit, but matching and mirroring. Matching being whatever the length of their proposal is, you want to kind of try to make your application, your proposal, whatever the length of their job post is, you want to try and make your proposal a similar length. So let's say that their job post is 1 paragraph. Your proposal should be 1 paragraph, maybe 2 paragraphs max. I wouldn't make it longer. But if if their job post is really long, it's like 10 paragraphs, then you can pretty much make yours as long as you want. And I'll kind of explain that a little bit more in the downloadable that's attached to this lesson. But basically what's happening here is when they make a short proposal or they make a short job post, that should tell you that they're not someone who values a whole bunch of details. They don't want to get into the details of this whole thing. They just want you to respond, keep it high level for them. The people who write really long job posts, those people do want you to go in detail. They want you to go into it. They want you to send them everything. They want you to address all their key points. So you will need to write your proposal longer, and that's going to help them to like you. And then mirroring them is going to be kind of using the same words and phrases that they use. So you can just repeat some of that stuff back to them. If they say, "I'm looking for a high profile web designer," you might repeat back to them, "You're looking for a high profile web designer." And you're going to put this right in your proposal. And when you do this, it's going to mirror their own language. They're going to feel like you are like them, and they like that because we like people who are like us. The last part of this is just your whole goal with rapport really is to create feelings of confidence, competence, and comfort. And we have either already talked about that or we will talk about that in another lesson. I can't remember if I already recorded a video on it, so just keep that in mind. This is a big deal. Confidence, competence, and comfort are a big deal when it comes to proposal writing. They're kind of everything, so just remember that. How are you going to create those things? That's what rapport is. It's them being confident in you. It's them being comfortable with you and feeling like you're competent enough to get the job done. Some things you can do that are going to make that happen. You can spend more time on your proposal, making it and crafting it for that person, individually tailoring your proposal for each client. You can leave your phone number in your signature. That's a sign of trust. You know, it's saying, "Hey, I trust you not to freaking spam my phone or sell my information or anything like that. It's there. We can get on a call because I'm a real business owner." You're communicating subconsciously to the client things that are going to help them to get in rapport with you. You could do money back guarantees, or you could do free revision rounds. Things like that are going to help the client feel more safe by giving you their money. They're going to say, "Okay, I've got this money back guarantee, or I get this many revision rounds. So if something goes wrong, we just fix it and we work together to move forward." So those are just some things. I've got more examples in the downloadable again, so make sure you check that out after this lesson. And yeah, come back for the next lesson. It's going to be something awesome, and I will see you there.